Hanafikari, and today we're going to explore the cognitive dynamics map that I have created in order to facilitate us in typing someone. I'm going to expand this thing out, and there are three things that we're going to look at, which is the interaction styles, temperament, and cognitive function, which is the same thing as the five lenses, and also the type grid from C.S. Joseph. And also plus, today we're going to type Ed Sheeran, for example, to try out this cognitive dynamics map that I created. So just gonna put it back. All right. So I'm gonna expand all of them. So I will give the link to the full map in the description. But so far, let's just show you the example on how we're gonna use it. So for example, over here for controlling type, um, perhaps when you think about controlling type, you think about the outcomes, the list of certain things we are gonna achieve, for example, and that can perhaps be a systematic trait because someone that is listing all the outcomes can seems to have an organized thoughts or organized way of thinking about something, to sort something out, list them into an outcome. That can seem pretty systematic, and also that can also looks concrete because someone that is concrete talks about what we can see and can list them out things that less unclear. So and also can seems that as a direct person because someone that is direct always, love to give or control the rules of someone. Means that they like to give a list of orders and then initiate it to someone. That is how stereotypically we're gonna think about controlling types. So these are the thing that we're gonna confuse within all of this. And then we're gonna look for the second example over here. Someone that is interest focused. Well, we actually, at least me, always confuse someone that is interest focused as someone that is extroverted because someone that is extroverted, they prefer to talk about something that is engaging, something that spike the interest of someone, and even though if you're like an ENTJ or ENTP, they're gonna like put some jokes in order to gain the attention from the audience, so the audience won't die out of boredom. So yeah, that's why I said that someone that is extroverted can seems like an extroverted type. The same goes with even INTJ or INTP, and it can also seem informative because basically interest of someone or motivation of someone can be quite subjective. It can subject to change, and that's why unlike systematic traits, they are more like pragmatic because they have like a uniform outcome. For example, I'll give you in the military we have this system of for example a targeted enemy to attack someone, for example, that seems like a more pragmatic approach, to complete a mission, and there's just one goal, which is to defeat the enemy. That's it. It's very direct and it's very introverted, controlling, very SI and all that. It's very specific. Unlike interests of someone, and we have multitudinous interests. And that's why it can also seems quite abstract because we cannot really guess what other people really want. What other people really interested in, and it can seem also affiliative because really that things that are interesting is loved by most people, so it can seem interest focused, and it can affiliative, and it can also seem extroverted sensing because of course extroverted sensors, they like to attract people via their look, for example, so they got to seems more attractive, so that's why they got to be more interesting. And I'm going to show you the second map before we proceed to type Ed Sheeran. I had typed him anyway, but I'm just gonna keep the secret. See if you think in another way. Well, this is the big five and the five lenses, or sorry, five lenses and the big five. And I am going to go to the view mode. You can see that we have two types of arrangement. The first one is actually sorted through by putting the five lenses first, and then describe it with the big five. And for the second one is vice versa. We start with the big five and then explain it using the five lenses traits. So I'm gonna show you another example. Someone that is direct, for example, we seems direct using the type trait or the five lenses. Perhaps they are not really direct person, but somehow their personality, according to the big five, they have high conscientiousness and low neuroticism, meaning that conscientiousness, meaning that they are someone that is industrious, someone that is, you can see the description below actually for further information. Conscientiousness, competence, order, organized, efficient, not careless, thorough, and so on. You can see a lot of traits over here. Not lazy. Yes, laziness is something that really highly related to conscientiousness. So they can seems very, I'll call it formal that way. Very systematic too. And that's why if you see that when I put someone that is, when I want to describe someone that is systematic, they also have high conscientiousness, because these two traits are kind of relatable. And someone that is systematic can also seem extroverted. Have high extraversion. Well, perhaps because they are really something, focus on the system, the collective system, what people want to achieve. And they can also have low openness and high agreeableness, because they just follow the the existed order, as the existed laws or system, and they're gonna be less agreeable to things that out of the system. Like you can see this primarily to, I guess, some systematic person that prefer to use book, writing things using book instead of like using like phones, for example, like there's something like that. For systematic type, they just prefer to use the traditional method than just using the very novel, and for example like AR, or I think AR is pretty formal though. There are some ways like mind map like this, and they like don't know that this particular mind map even exists sometimes, so they don't really comfortable using it. Okay, so let's look at the big five traits. We have two directions, or let's say types to describe the openness: having high openness and having low openness. So for someone that have high openness in the big five, they can seem like someone that is interest focused. They can seem abstract, introverted thinkers, extroverted and pragmatic. And someone that have low openness, they can seem systematic, concrete, TE, introverted and affiliative. The reason is that someone that have high openness, they actually seem someone that is really I call that have a lot of ideas. Let's say the description here. Just don't want to elaborate so much. I'm afraid I'm gonna be wrong. So you see, curious, imaginative, artistic, wide interest, excitable, and unconventional. See, they have like original comes with ideas, very artistic. They are very open, have many ideas, and they can also seem like someone that have like extroverted intuition or introverted intuition. Something that's really abstract. And they're gonna seem extroverted because that they're gonna like share the ideas with people, be open, and all that. And they can also seem pragmatic because someone that's pragmatic usually have like more ideas on how to deal with a problem instead of like taking care of the community's harmony and all that. Because people generally will be scared or angry when they exposed to something that is new and unique. So that's like something that is commonly happen. And now let's try to type Ed Sheeran. So this is the one of the video. I'm gonna show how I'm gonna use it simultaneously.
You were nominated for Album of the Year or Song of the Year. I cannot believe that was not nominated for Song of the Year. I mean,
I think, my way of my like outlook on it is like it's just some years you have your year and some years you don't have your.
Okay, so that did he really answer the question? He did, right? So he seems more extroverted, but he could just be someone that have high extroversion. Even INTJ can become or extroverted if they have like high extroversion and openness. But he seems very initiating so far. Like I say, and I say sometimes some years you have, some years you don't have years. Some years you have years. Some years you don't have year. That sounds like, what does that really mean is that some year you're chosen or nominated, some you win something, some years you don't win. So, but it was explained in a very informative way. So I can detect some informative from that as well. So extroverted and quite informative, I guess. So someone that have low conscientiousness and high neuroticism can actually seem like informative. I could see that, but I don't see he have like low conscientiousness. Perhaps he looks really messy. Yeah, I could rather say that he kind of looks messy or looks low, having low conscientiousness.
Yeah, and maybe this year isn't my year.
Well, that song, I mean, it did not leave my head. I mean, ever.
But that's the point. That's where you win. That's where the validation comes from. Where you actually.
That's where you win. That's where the validation comes from. Where you actually, what?
See genuine people enjoying the songs.
And stuff like that. Well, that seems really initiating, right? That sounds like introverted thinking. That's how you win. That's how like. The truth is that's how you win. Like TI, that seems introverted thinking. To me, and Alan didn't even finish his sentence yet, but really that he already like initiated something. He seems like a movement type, I guess. He seems kind of movement. So let's try to use the cognitive dynamics here to see how it goes.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
So I'd rather have like a lifetime of people coming up to me of saying like this song affects me in this way, in a positive way, and like this song's like my wedding song, this song was my first kiss, than anything else. I think that's
right.
Did you see that concreteness? Like, I want people to come here to me, see me, and tell that this thing affect me. This one like goes to my wedding, for example. That sounds like concrete to me. But perhaps like come to me. Want people to come to you to share good experience or good feeling. Seems like extroverted sensing. It could also be like extroverted feeling that this song makes me feel good. So I can feel good as well. That seems like movement. Before this, it seems kind of movement as well. But someone that looking movement and perhaps have high interest, having interest focus, or perhaps they are, let's see, abstract or informative, play around with the roles of someone, right? He's very extroverted. Perhaps he's interest focused, perhaps his movement also shoot energy to all direction, yeah. Perhaps it was concrete. But I also sense that he's kind of concrete. Why I sense he's concrete though, I just kind of search for it, why I sense that he's concrete. Perhaps I confused with something. But he seems very concrete, he's tell me this experience. Yeah, I can also see I sense he's kind of concrete, so perhaps he's extroverted sensing or introverted sensing. Extroverted, most people can relate to it. Okay.
Validation comes.
Well, you're a very.
Thank you.
You're a very well-adjusted person. So, in Perfect, the song that you just did, you said that's your favorite song?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Do you know what? It was.
Do you know what?
It was like one of the fastest songs that I'd written.
Oh wait, the fastest song I have written. Okay, is that movement?
And had just kind of come out and.
Just kind of come out.
It was the first song I wrote for the album, and I'm still not really like sick of it. I still listen to it and like it. And we're putting out a remix tonight with Beyonce. It's just come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He reached a lot of points. He's really extroverted. Like I can like point that he's extroverted though. He's really initiating. He didn't even. Ellen didn't really talk about it, and he just like explained what's gonna happen. You know what? This and that and that. A lot of things. He's perhaps interest-focused people. I'm not sure. Perhaps. But both can be, very extroverted though. I mean, that is kind of hard to say.
which is exciting. Which is one of those things, like, I kind of like, I did it, and the song came out so long ago in the scheme of like music now, like music kind of goes so fast, and I was like, I want to do it as a single. And then I thought of a way of relaunching it, and you know, I was like, well, I love Beyonce, should I ask Beyonce? And then in my head I was like...
Did you see that? Like, he was like very jumpy, you know, with point this, point that, point this, point and that. Like, wow, that seems like movement to me.
She's going to say no, and then I was like, well, you might as well ask, and she said, yeah.
Whoa!
Wow.
You see the conversation he's explaining with Beyonce and him. It seems really kind of like a ping pong match, you know. It's like really fast. Like, wow.
It's going to be amazing. And is it about your girlfriend?
It is, yeah.
I'm so happy that you're happy. So you've been.
I'm
with
so
your
happy you're
girlfriend for how
happy.
long
That
now?
extrovert feeling.
That's
Almost 3
fantastic.
years.
I'm
Yeah,
very happy for you.
We went to high school together.
Yeah.
She's, I know. Yeah, she's really cool. We live together. We have cats.
Initiating again.
They're really
We
cool.
have cats. Very
Just got a
cool.
Christmas tree. Put that up.
How many
Like,
cats?
We
do you
got
have?
the
Got 2
Christmas
cats,
tree.
but
Oh,
like
okay.
they're both really, really, really strange creatures.
Why?
I don't know. It's kind of like they don't have any like. They do have ribs, but they kind of sit like humans, like this. They'll sit up like this with their legs. Like, it's really strange. Like,
That's
you walk in and
adorable.
they'll just be looking at you like that.
That's.
Yeah.
You need to. Are you Instagramming them? Because that's
Yeah, I
actually
have,
really
yeah.
funny. They should have their own Instagram account.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
What are their names?
Calippo and Dorito.
Yeah, well, that's why you've named them.
Dorito's got like little orange Doritos.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And the other one?
Oh man, I don't. Well,
no
Calippo in England is an ice cream, like an iced
Icy
flavored thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna have trouble to explain things. That seems more informative to me. And he initiated a lot, so he's informative, extroverted, movement. Yeah, that is actually the starter type according to the type grid, or if according to the 5 lenses, that will equivalent to we'll call that keeps things going, I guess. I forgot. Something like that, you know. That means that he's a starter type. He could be like ESFJ or ESFP, ENTP and ENFP, but he seems like TI and FE that eliminates another two things, you know, like, so they basically just have ESFJ and ENTP so far. So let's try to see if we can detect some pragmatism
Hey,
or
tell me what happened
fearlessness.
to you. I saw pictures of you with broken arms and things. What happened?
I was cycling to the pub. It was my.
You were on your way to the pub, not on your way from the pub.
No. This is the weird thing, right? I had 2 days off. I just shot the perfect video, which I was skiing in, and I can't ski. So if any time you're going to break your arms, I assumed it was going to be then. I just shot that, and I had 2 days off in between tour, and I
So
went
far,
home,
it's very concrete, you know.
And stayed at my
Talk about his
girlfriend's parents' house, and we both
experience.
got our bicycles, and we cycled to
We
the pub.
cycled to
And I
the
was going down a hill, and I
pub.
braked, fell off,
It's all about the
like hit
process.
both arms, but then was like, it's my only day off. I'm going to the pub. So
Oh wow!
so cycled to the pub, drunk with all my mates, then cycled home, and then
Bring
in
with
the
all the
morning-
mates, like wow, that's like he described all the process, what he did. He did this and then did that, and then like it's very process focused, very movement. Okay, good luck on that. And he drink with the mates. I think he talks a lot about the family members. He seems very affiliative to me, as you can sense some pragmatism. He's very affiliative.
I was just like,
He seems like an
so much
ESFJ, you know.
pain that drove myself to the hospital, and then they were like, you can't drive back. The
And
only
what had
reason-
you done? You broke your
I
arm?
broke my wrist, this wrist, my elbow, and my rib.
Ouch!
Oh my God, and you
This hurts.
lasted all night long at the pub without...
Well, because like I'm a quite clumsy person, so I kind of thought.
That's
that
TI.
I
I'm
was-
quite clumsy person. That could be like TI, but kind of also confused with something else. That's a fact. You know, the truth is that I am quite clumsy person. That he seems very okay with it to talk about that facts about him. Quite humble, you know. That way, let's see what can we confuse TI with something. Well, someone that seems TI can also actually become abstract. Okay, because like initiating new things, you know. But I think that's really honest thing, you know. Abstract. Perhaps let's see abstraction. Someone that is abstract can also seems TI. introverted, and INE, informative, movement, introversion. Yeah, a lot of traits are
Like,
relatable
the
to it.
pain will go, and then it didn't go.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
That's horrible. That's it. And were you wearing a helmet?
Yes. Do you know what? I will be wearing one from now on now since I'm trapped.
You should
Yeah.
wear a bodysuit, like a kind of like, I don't know, like what people wear when they practice dogs attacking them. You should wear that.
It was weird. It was weird though, because I mean,
You're shitting again.
once the elbow kind of got movement, it was all right. But I couldn't cut my own food, wash, like open doors. Like I was really, really dependent on Jerry for like the whole thing.
For how long?
At least a month. At least a
Wow.
month.
And then you couldn't play guitar, probably.
No, I had to cancel some tour dates, which I've never done before, which wasn't the best thing to do. But like, yeah, I just finished up the Asia tour though, so I know I can play guitar. And obviously, I've fought today, so I'm good.
You're moving around okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he seems very concrete so far. I'm not sure. Then he talks a lot about his family members. I mean, instead of like, I was hoping that he's gonna talk about a lot of like, you know, something that is useful, like pragmatic. You know, that what works for me by, you know, for example, how do I deal with my arm? Is I do this, I do that. You know, so I thought that he's gonna share about what works thing. You know, very pragmatic things. But he didn't. He talks about who helped me, who I was in. Talks about my cat, about Cherry, about his mates. That seems very affiliative so far. And he didn't even initiate any abstraction. So I will already say he's an ESFJ. So let's see what you type him so far. But using this cognitive dynamics things, I couldn't deny that he is very ESFJ to me. By even like visual typing him, he seems like an ESFJ or ISFP with that particular hair. But you know, God knows the best. So I think that's all. That's how I'm gonna show you. So that's all. Bye. Have a nice day. Don't forget to check the description below for the links for my apps, and also I hope we can share what you type him. Bye.